We do Turkish Get Ups for a number of reasons, and we can list a bunch of them here. Overall body awareness and control. There's a bit of mobility required in it. There's lots of good opportunities to work on joint tracking, lower body limb tracking, like when we get stood up in the position, kind of like what we'd use in a split squat or a lunge. Lots of good opportunities to practice our rotational glute squeeze. And there's great shoulder stability and strength involved for both arms that are working in this. And I'll show you what we're doing so you know what I'm talking about. We're going to start lying on the floor. One arm is up. We're going to try to keep that arm vertical the whole time. For me, it's the right arm, the same side. The knee is going to be bent. This foot is maybe about knee distance away. And that foot is going to stay flat on the floor, glued to the floor the whole time, if possible. The other arm and leg are down on the floor. We're going to start by rolling onto the other arm. My arm in the air is trying to stay vertical all the time. So I'm going to roll onto the other arm, up on the forearm, and then up on the hand. Bonus points if you can keep that hand from sliding around. From here, we're going to bridge up, and that's a rotational butt squeeze, especially through the right leg or my bent knee leg. We're going to lower the hips a little bit so that we can bring the leg underneath the body and shift up into this half kneeling position. At this point, we want to be facing all in the same direction. This is like the bottom of a lunge or a split squat. And then we're going to stand up, driving with our hips, trying to get that rotational glute squeeze, especially of the front leg. Stand up nice and tall. We do the same thing in reverse to get it down. So you're going to take a step back, like we would for a lunge or a split squat. We're going to rotate our body a little bit so we can put our hand back, hopefully in about the same place as before. So back into the side. The leg that's underneath is going to come up front. We're going to squeeze, rotational glute squeeze to drive the hips up towards the ceiling. Don't drop the hips back down. We're going to drop them sort of over to the side of the leg that's up. So there's lots of room to roll down onto the forearm again. And then back down onto the back. We'll do that one time from the other angle so you can see what's happening there. One arm straight up in the air, try and keep it that way the whole time. The same side, the knee is bent. The foot is about knee distance away and the foot is going to stay flat on the floor all the time. Other leg straight out, other arm out to the side. Trying to keep the arm in the air vertical all the time. I'm going to roll over onto the forearm of the other hand and come up onto the hand. Get that rotational glute squeeze out of the hip of the knee that's bent to drive up. Lower the hips a little bit so that it's easy to bring the leg back and underneath the body so that we can transfer into a split stance or half kneeling position. From here, good glute squeeze or hip drive from that front leg. Stand up nice and tall. Glutes are engaged here, maybe abdominals engaged too. Arms straight overhead, same thing to go back down, but in reverse. We take a step back, come down. Gonna turn a little bit, find that spot out to the side for the hand to go down. Leg comes through, we get that nice glute squeeze, driving the hips up. We're going to drop the hips down and back to the side where they came from. Roll back down onto the forearm. And back down onto the floor. We can progress that if we like by adding